So before we start discussing your job, can you tell me where you were educated and did you enjoy your time there?
Well, my secondary education was in a town called Belper, which is in Derbyshire, and I enjoyed that immensely, yeah. Came up with my O-levels from there. I then had a technical education at Trent Polytechnic, where I got a HND. I started up in my career in engineering. Later on in my career, I went back to university, Derby University, and got an MBA. Since leaving secondary education, I went into a part-time job, first of all, at a butcher's. I then got a full-time job as a wireman, which means basically wiring pieces of wire together to make all sorts of different electronic equipment. I then had 3 years at college full-time, and after that, as a professional engineer, went into the railway industry, designing rolling stock. That's the trains and the locomotives you see going up and down the track. As you get more experienced in the design and the general engineering community with railways, you can mature into more responsible positions, and this usually involves running of teams. So you can be a senior member of a team, and then eventually you'll find yourself leading a team or even a department. Yes, now I'm a consultant engineer, which consists of agreeing work scopes with clients, agreeing what you need to do, what needs delivering, when it needs delivering, what funds are available, what the budget is, and other things such as what key steps are involved, stakeholders, and things like that. I guess what inspires anybody to be a consultant is the fact that they have their expertise recognised when they get their work. It's very satisfying when you can deliver a good piece of high quality work that the client is really happy with, and it pushes the project along really well, delivers on all fronts, as it were. So that personally can be very satisfying. Well, the best aspects of work as an engineering consultant are what I touched on earlier, which is the fact that you can have the opportunity to make a difference in a project and to deliver some very high quality work, which is very satisfying. On the negative side, if you don't like working in isolation occasionally, maybe consulting won't be for you. You do have to take quiet time out every now and then and get your head down and do some good solid work, which can involve a lot of thinking and creativity. Well, there isn't a typical day, and that's a very good thing. If you're producing a report, then a typical day would be creating the words, writing them down, making sure the grammar's correct, and the technicalities of all of the authorship, as well as actually making sure that the content is as professional as it can be and hits the mark. But if you're not writing a report, you may be doing some analysis, some engineering analysis, and that's a completely separate set of tools. It's very numerically driven, calculus is involved, and other skills then come into their own. If I'm working on proposals, then there are elements of commercialisation, contract clauses, and bids and tenders type documentation can also be very structured, so you have to make sure that elements of what you do knit seamlessly with elements of perhaps what other members of the team are. Satisfying when a client says to you personally that the job you've done is a good one, or that they're very happy with it, feedback like that, or they're happy with the quality of it and that it was in time and you know you've done a good job. Personally, that's very rewarding for a professional. Any professional will be very happy with that. Clients usually want things very, very quickly, and timescales are flexible as well, so maybe they can, what we call left shift, and sometimes they can want them earlier than they've said previously. Stress is there. The job is not without stress, but I think it's good stress. it's good stress that in that when you come out the other side of it and you've achieved what you need to achieve, you feel pretty good about it. You do have to have certain attributes. Obviously you've got to have the knowledge that the clients are looking for, but you also have to have the ability to be able to go in and out of projects without necessarily seeing the projects all the way through to completion. But the work can be very rewarding, and even some of the stresses can be quite exciting, and if you get a buzz out of that sort of thing, then ultimately, yes, very definitely. I would suggest that you look at all the main consultancies and look at the sorts of roles that they are advertising and what's available. Look at the attributes they're looking for in those job applications, those job adverts, talking to people in those industries or that industry, and get a feel for what it is that not only they are like, but also what their clients are like, so that you know what you're getting yourself into, and whether or not you'd thrive in that environment, which hopefully you will. I would very definitely work harder. There's no doubt about that. If I could go back and meet my 14-year-old self, I would tell myself to knuckle down and work very hard for those O-levels, get better grades. I don't necessarily think that just because you're told you'll be good at something if you try it, that you'll necessarily like it. Being good at something is one thing, but enjoying it and making a career of it is another thing. And if you really enjoy what you do in your career, you're a very lucky person.